This is the Tremec T56 Magnum XL installation in a 17 Mustang GT. This is part 3. So here's some of the stuff that I got to go with the trans. I got this trans jack off of Amazon for like 99 bucks, and it comes with a strap. The only thing is that the strap is just way too long. It's gonna probably even hit the top of the trans tunnel in the car. So I'm gonna take this strap off and just bolt this directly to the ear right here. And it's real simple. It just uses a 1/2-inch drive, and I marked it which way to go. And it also has this neat feature here that you can kind of adjust the angle of the trans too once you get it strapped on. So, and the total height from floor to here is about 7 inches. So I used to use a floor jack and try to balance the trans on it, but this is going to be a lot safer. All right, some of the other things that I've come across and need is a yoke for the back of the trans. It's a 31 spline, and it accepts 1350 U-joints. So I'm going to use the driveshaft that I already had. I just took the flange off. It was a flat flange. Took it off, and I'm going to use the yoke here, okay? Obviously, I'm going to have to cut the driveshaft about 8 inches or so because the trans is that much longer. But what I'll do is I'll get the trans installed, put this in the back of the trans all the way in, and then go out about 1 inch, and then measure from the center line here all the way back to where this is installed on the back of the pinion flange on the rear axle. That's for the measurement they need, and then they'll end up cutting this flange out, moving it back, welding it, balancing it. It's a place called Automotive Supply, I think, out in Livonia, that's going to do this for me. Anyways, now as far as the trans mount, remember I spoke about in part 2 about the trans mount being rubber that they supply with you. Well, I wanted to go polyurethane, so I found a trans mount that is the same distance from here to here, which is 5.5. Unfortunately, this is 3.5 or 3 inches here, and it's 3.5 here. So once I get the trans installed, I'll either drill a hole in the center in the mount, or I'll make an oblong holes in the trans mount to allow this to be used. And that's the part number. There you go. Then I went with that. Okay. And then the other thing I had to get is a spacer that's supplied with the Centerforce Dual clutch setup, the SST. Don't forget to use the spacer when you put your throw-in bearing on the new trans. I've got a bowler harness. This adapts the SS or the S550 body harness to the Tremec transmission, and they got instructions in there. We'll get to that later. Another pet peeve of mine is this reverse lockout. When you hit the brakes, you supply voltage to it to release the solenoid so the spring can go in. This is what it looks like kind of inside. It's got this detent. I can see that or not. But that's locked and very difficult to get it without powering this up. But the aftermarket, again, I got this off of Amazon for like 30 bucks. And it comes with different springs, and you can set different springs in there. You just take that clip out and you can set the different spring. I like this one. It's a little stiff, but so what I'm going to do, I can do this with one hand here, is that the whole purpose of that was to prevent accidentally going in reverse from shifting from 6th down into 5th. And I mean, it's real easy to do. Watch this. When I put it over to reverse, see how it pops that out. There we go. So we're gonna take this out, and this is not moving. That's just not moving. So we're gonna put that in its place, which gives it some sort of resistance, so you can kind of feel that you're actually going in reverse and not 5th. So we're gonna install that. Okay, flywheel's on, clutch is in, bell housing is in. Flywheel to crank was 85 foot-pounds, and the clutch was 40 foot-pounds, and the bell housing was 40 pounds per instruction. So next, I'm just going to show you how easy this alignment tool is going in and out. So when I'm before I torque the bolts down for the pressure plate, I go up and I go down and I go side to side and I find the center, put it in, and then start working around back and forth. And then as it tightens up, just every once in a while make sure that it's, because on this one, this is the dual disc. So it's got to go through 2 discs and then into the pilot hole. So you definitely got to make sure everything is picture perfect aligned. All right, next on to the trans. All right, trans is ready to go in. A couple of tips here. Put your bolt through the clip that holds your vent hose through here already. Have it there already. And then this was a bugger. You've got to use a pick and take out this clip right here and then press it together, then put the clip back in. But put this hose on now before you get it all the way up there and you can't reach it. All right, I put a little schmooge on the splines and on the input shaft so it goes in a little bit easier. And this little trans jack is working out really good. All right, here we go. All right, starter is in. The starter bolts are a little bit too long, so I went and got some smaller ones, maybe a 1/4 inch shorter. And now we're ready to add the trans fluid. I love using this little electric pump. I'm using synthetic Dextron, and we're going to fill it up till it starts spilling out. And here we go. All right, I'm going to measure for the dry shaft now. What you want to do is get your yoke in and push it all the way in and then out about 1 inch. There you go. Then you want to measure from the center line of your yoke. And in this case, the mounting surface of the pinion flange, which happens to be 39.5 inches. So I'm going to drop the drive shaft off to get modified. Okay, got the drive shaft back from Automotive Supply in Livonia. They cut it down, had to balance it. See the extra weight here. And we're going to lube the yoke here so it doesn't go in dry. And then I put NICs on the pinion flange because the cap, the back cap on these like to rust and stick in there. So we're going to have 6 bolts holding it. We are going to install the drive shaft and torque the spec. All right, drive shaft is in and it's perfect. Oh, this is just too easy. All right. Nice. Thank you, Automotive Supply of Livonia. Only a 2-day turnaround. Awesome. All right, fluid's in. Now it's time for the wiring harness, and that is this mumble jumbo here. I have to cut all this harness. I got to find a 12-volt source and wire up that bowler harness for the vehicle speed sensor and the reverse light. All right, we're going to install the bowler all-in-one harness. This will adapt the vehicle speed sensor and the reverse light and lockout if you need it to the chassis harness. It has an app. You download the app for your phone so you can talk to this module right here, and this will fine-tune your wheel circumference, your rear axle ratio, and your pulse to the ECM so you can fine-tune to make your speedometer work correctly. I removed the 2 pins here for the reverse lockout because I'm not using it. So I just put a little grease in the cavity preventing the corrosion. But I labeled the harness here so I can easily remember what's what when I'm down underneath the car. But it's real simple. The black wire is ground, red wire is power, purple wires are for your vehicle speed sensor, It gives you an option of 2 signals back to the ECM, one at 16 pulses and one at 40. I'm going to go with the signal wire for 40, and then I think I'm going to fine-tune it down to about 36 using the phone app. And then the red-brown wires, there's 2 of them. That's easy. That's for the reverse lights, but that also is to activate your reverse camera. And all this comes courtesy of Summit. So we are going to splice using the wire diagram here. There's the reverse switch. I'm going to splice into these 2 wires here. And there is the vehicle speed sensor. Now this is normally a 3-wire sensor, but the Tremec has a 2-wire vehicle speed sensor. Thus, that's what the reason for the module is. But you got your 12 volts coming in. You got a signal coming back. Now that signal is going to go to the module first, and then to the ECM, and we won't be needing a return wire here. So, real simple. All right, let's get this done. All right, just a really simple install here, but basically your bowler module needs a 12-volt ignition on, needs a ground. When the ignition turns on, module is awake. Once the vehicle starts moving, your vehicle speed sensor off your new Tremec transmission, that speed sensor will send the signal to the module. Module will interpret it. In my case, I used the purple-white wire, which is output 1. For 40 pulse width, or pulses per revolution, I should say. And then I sent that to the input to the ECM. So I cut out the harness here for the stock vehicle speed sensor. Okay, I just removed it. And then I didn't need the input, and I didn't need the return off of it. All I need is to tell the ECM the new signal from the Tremec. So you just cut the wire out and you just splice it into the signal coming in, and then you just program it out on your phone. Another useful purpose of the scissor jack is to use it as a leverage to roll in your exhaust, as shown. All right, trans is in, exhaust is in. Finishing up the wiring now. I'm just going to go over what I did so you guys can see the same thing here. Basically, I tie strap the module up here. This is the bowler all-in-one harness module. You got your red is the power coming in. Got your black is ground. I just ran the ground over here to the trans. The purple-white wire that you can see here, that is the vehicle speed sensor out. So it powers up the module. These 2 wires here for the vehicle speed sensor and the Tremec. And then this interprets based on your app that you have. This is the signal out, and you just tap into the harness going back to the ECM. That's pretty simple. Reverse light. Switches up here. Same thing. That's just a closed switch. So when the reverse is engaged, the switch closes and then sends a signal to the ECM to know that turn the reverse lights on, and then also the reverse camera as well. This spaghetti right here is the rear O2s. I'm going to just tie strap them along here and feed it, and they go up here. Back there, okay. But anyways, it's almost time to fire this thing up. I got some stuff to do up front in the engine compartment.